Blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller, our 8th year of Miller's Mission, where we ask you to give a turkey, don't be a turkey. And I resemble that remark, benefiting the Boise Rescue Mission Ministries. Over 5,000 turkeys are needed this Christmas season. Won't you help Treasure Valley families? For more information, you can go to Miller's Mission on boiserm.org. And we would love to see you. We would love for you to stop by here at the Nampa Walmart, Garrity and Franklin. We will be here, living here, thanks to Camping World Boise. Appreciate their work until Saturday at 6. And our friends at Team Mazda, Team Subaru, Go Team, Save Money, Drive Happy, and the Boise Rescue Mission. Let's go to Hank in Boise. Hank, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Hank.
Good morning. What I might point out about press conferences before I go to my main point is that the modern press conference began with FDR. As far
hey,
as
Art, I'm going to have you get up for a minute. All right.
Okay. And he held 998 of them in the 12 years he was in office. And then the televised press conferences started with Eisenhower in 1955. But the main point of this is that the press conference is not a necessary part of the president's job. It's his option to do it or not to do it. And for a court to decide whether a reporter has a right to be at a press conference is basically a violation of the separation of powers. No court can tell another branch of government how to conduct their business. And I think one of the things that the president can consider is stopping televised press conferences. I think that would stop a lot of the grandstanding by characters like Acosta, CNN, and a lot of the hostile dramatics that they want to play. But he has no inherent right. I mean, the president can decide who's in his press conference. It has to be by necessary, because if the court ruled that a president had the right, that every member of the press, by the freedom of the press and freedom of speech, had a right to it, your press conferences would be totally unwieldy. You'd have to invite every possible news organization that there is. It would make the news conference practically impossible. It has to be by necessity selection by the president who's there and who isn't there. So I think that this is a frivolous suit, and I think that it should be dismissed.
Well, Hank, it comes down to this, and this is what the president has said about Jim Acosta. I'd love to get your thoughts.
You've got to treat the White House and the office of the presidency with respect.
The president's absolutely right. The first person to be rude to a president openly, and again it was CBS News that pioneered this type of thing, was Dan Rather in his questioning of Nixon in the early 70s, before it became the news anchor. I mean, in a lot of ways, these characters, of course, they carried it one step further, but a lot of these characters, a lot of the stuff that we don't like about the mainstream media was pioneered again by CBS News. And Dan Rather was playing the Jim Acosta role with Nixon back in the early 70s. So I think that the president's absolutely right in his stance.
We'll see what happens. It is a crazy world. Let me give you one more, Hank.
I think Jim Acosta is a very unprofessional man. I think he does this with everybody. He gets paid to do that. He gets paid to burst in. He's a very unprofessional guy. Whether it was me or Ronald Reagan or anybody else, he would have done the same thing.
Your thoughts, Hank?
I think he's absolutely right. If it was a conservative president or a Republican, and it was Ronald Reagan, he would behave the same way towards Ronald Reagan. It's all about him. In other words, I think that Acosta is more of a performer than he is a real news thing, and I think he's also a very volatile liberal.
Sure.
In a sense, he wants to be there to make a statement, not ask.
Well, he's looking to make a name for himself. Hank, thank you for the call. Appreciate you, brother. From your house here in the Treasure Valley to the White House, joining us now live from the White House, John Decker, Fox News Radio on KIDO Talk Radio. John, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. How are you doing today?
Just trying to make sense of lawsuits about who does and who doesn't get credentialed to the White House. I would assume you have a hard pass. For those here in Idaho, can you explain the difference?
Well, sure. What happens is if you cover the White House regularly, you would get a letter from your news organization saying that you cover the White House on a daily basis, and then you would submit yourself for a background check that's conducted by the U.S. Secret Service. And then after a period of time, you would get a hard pass. Of course, the White House has to support your request for a so-called hard pass. I've had a hard pass since 1995, so for quite some time. And what that means simply is that when you have a hard pass, press credential, it allows you to come and go from the White House grounds relatively easy. I have to still obviously go through the security check, going through metal detectors and that type of thing, but I don't have to make an appointment to come to the White House. It also allows me to travel on Air Force One. So there are certain advantages of having a White House hard pass as opposed to a daily pass, which a journalist can request, which would allow you to come to the White House at an appointed time on a certain day to attend a White House press briefing, for instance, or if you have an interview scheduled at the White House. That's another situation where you would have what's known as a daily pass to come to the White House.
Well, and John, you helped me coordinate that when we went to the White House and covered, the Obama administration. You're a member of the White House Press Corps, the White House Correspondents Association. Your thoughts on Jim Acosta suing the president, or CNN suing the president?
Well, yes, CNN and Jim Acosta together are suing the president and other senior administration officials. They claim that the White House is denying Jim Acosta his First Amendment rights as well as his Fifth Amendment rights. I don't think that the White House is denying Jim his First Amendment rights. You don't have a right to come to the White House. You don't have a right to have a White House hard pass. Now, his Fifth Amendment rights may have been violated in the sense that he was not given due process when the White House revoked or suspended his press credential, meaning that they didn't give notice to Jim that we're going to do so. Your press pass is going to be suspended for an indefinite period of time, nor did they give an opportunity to Jim or the CNN to explain sort of their side of the story. So that's something that a judge may agree with CNN on, but that doesn't restore Jim's press credential. That would only give him an opportunity to have sort of a hearing, if you want to call it that, with the White House to explain his side of the story.
John Decker, we appreciate it. Never a dull moment. Thank you, sir.
Never a dull moment. Thanks a lot, Kevin. Have a great day.
You too. Our great friend John Decker from the White House to your house, Fox News Radio, exclusively on KIDO Talk Radio. We're joined by Dr. Tommy Ahlquist joining us. Sir, good to see you.
Great to be here. Thanks for letting me come out. It's an amazing thing you do. First in, last out, right?
Yes, sir. Kind of like you and, the building that is going on throughout the Treasure Valley. We've been negotiating to get you in studio, and it took Miller's Mission to get you here. You've been busy. We've been busy, but life after politics.
It's been great. It's been great to get back to business, but get back to community. There's a lot of need, and I think getting around the state and seeing how many things that bring us together as a state, it's been really inspiring for me, and getting back to business has been fun. I mean, that's what I did before, and we'll continue to do good things in the community and continue to stay very involved. I think it's important that we all do that. But getting back to this week, I've been listening all week. It's 12 hours a day.
Right.
For everyone sitting at home, 12 hours a day you come do this, and every year it's just inspiring to come out, hear the stories, and understand how we can make an impact collectively in our community. I went around the state, Kevin, a long ways and met a lot of people, but I don't know that I ever met anyone quite like you. So it's an honor to support in any little way I can. Very, very small way. Once you get in that turkey suit, we all think you're a little bit crazy, but that's what it takes to drive the message, right? And to get people out, and the fun you bring to it, I think really inspires people. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you, Dr. Ahlquist. We appreciate you. Now, we will get back to the need and stuff, but look, I'm a fan of yours, have been for many, many years. I met you at Seven Cares, and when we take a look at the new administration, you're a conservative, you're a loyal Republican. Your thoughts on the election, Brad Little versus Paulette Jordan, the margins, everything else, how do you see
Yeah, I think all of us knew. Well, I was surprised that Paulette beat AJ. Frankly,
right. Yeah.
I mean, that was a shock to me. And then I don't know what her campaign was thinking during the campaign, but I think Brad did a really good job of just keeping his nose down and grinding. The one thing about Brad Little is that guy loves this state and works his tail off and worked hard, and he continued to do that. And I think his message got out there that he loves Idaho and he'll support and do the things. I think that the midterms were interesting. The blue wave didn't happen. I think we got a re-election of President Trump coming, and I think in Idaho we just got to be careful that we keep our values here.
Right.
They're eroding. You saw what happened in Ada County. We can't be too careful as far as just making sure that the principles, capitalism, freedom, free markets, free people, being able to talk about God, being able to do the things that we do here, we've got to keep that in Idaho. And if we don't, it's a precious freedom that will slip away. So I think there's not a more important time. I look forward to 2020.
Right.
I think you're going to see a bunch of progressives line up on the left and just beat each other up and go farther to the left, each one of them trying. I think healthcare will be a big deal. I think you'll hear Medicare for all. That'll be the platform they all run on. That would bankrupt us as a country quicker than we are now with our debt. So I think it's an interesting time to live in, and I just think everyone should stay very involved and help in any way to try to move things forward. As far as things locally here, I support Brad, Governor Little, fully in what he's doing. I hope that he's able to get some things done that really need to happen. Infrastructure. I mean, infrastructure is a big deal.
Now, wait a minute. I've talked to you about building, and you say I sound like an old man, and you're right. I resemble that remark, but anyway.
Sometimes I'm driving in my car, I almost drive. It's like that old guy. It's like Clint Eastwood in that movie, right. The Gran Torino. The old guy in the front yard with his shotgun. That's Kevin, right?
Yes, that is Kevin. Yes.
Yeah. Traffic and stay out of the way. But we've got some problems, and there's plans to do things.
Right.
There's just no money, and we've got to be careful. Once you get I always said, once you get your nose under the circus tent and see how government spends money, we got to spend money better, ITD included, and we need to make sure we're investing in infrastructure the right way. So that's a big deal. Healthcare will be a big deal for Idaho. We are not doing it right in the country or in the state. Plenty of money to take care of people, but it's not being effectively distributed. And so hopefully Governor Little starts tackling some of those things for us that matter. Education, it's number one. But I'm excited to watch him lead and to help in any way I can.
Speaking of your experience, now you ran for governor. As I said before, I voted for you. You had my vote, sir. You take a look at the political world and your world as a developer, an employer, a business person, a family man. Does the political world really understand how the real world works?
No, it's a different place. It's shocking. When I went into it, people said you won't believe it, and that's true. It's just a different. I understand now why it's tough to go from the real world into politics. With that said, I'm really glad I did it. It gave me a perspective on government that I never would have had. It gave me relationships around the state that I never would have had. And I think gave me ideas. Listen, the government can't solve our problems and shouldn't solve most of our problems. It will be the private sector. It will be individuals that can innovate and work around government that you'll see spring up most of our solutions. Now, hopefully they can follow along and do things with our tax dollars that matter. But it'll be the private sector that solves most of our problems, and I'm excited to be back in it.
Well, we're excited. Every time we talk to you, you're building some more things and more developments and such, but the infrastructure is a concern.
It's a huge concern. Yeah. So I think, a lot of times I got on Facebook the other day just because we announced a new project at the corn maze.
Right.
And a whole bunch of people got on there and said, hey, all the farmland's going away. Well, I mean, that's a parcel of land that's been zoned commercial for, since 1995. That is the right kind of project to do that uses existing infrastructure. But if you look at the urban sprawl we have, it is a problem. It stretches infrastructure. So we need to grow in a smart way that's strategic, that uses our resources, and we need to plan strategically. That does not happen most of the time here. And we're going to be in trouble. I think once gridlock happens up here, you're going to see people start clamoring for change. But something needs to happen soon, funding. And I think everyone knows that. The question is, okay, who's going to lead us and how's that going to go? And hopefully Governor Little can tackle a lot of those big issues for us.
Finally, by the way, our great friend Dr. Tommy Ahlquist joining us, Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio, and we do want to get back to this message, and you're keeping me on point. Miller, let's get back to Miller's mission and the need for the Boise Rescue Mission. But you take a look at us regionally, a lot of folks in Salt Lake. How are we perceived in our region? Obviously, we're getting a lot of national attention, but as a power, as an employer, as an attraction?
So it's very interesting. You know, I look at the last 15 years and kind of what was going on in Salt Lake with that attracting a lot of higher paying jobs. I think we're right there. In fact, just in the last couple of weeks, I've had a couple of very exciting meetings with large employers looking to come here. Now you'll say, well, we stop. We can't have more people. We still need higher paying jobs in Idaho. You look at our average wage. There's room for the right jobs, and we keep our kids here. But the issue is, how do we do that in a way we stay Idaho politically, we stay this environment to do business and raise families, but we grow with the right kind of jobs. And I think that'll be the trick. But we're perceived very well. There's a company that I met with a week ago that has offices in San Francisco and Seattle. They have targeted Boise, Idaho, the Treasure Valley. This is where they're coming to grow. And they're going to bring a lot of high-tech jobs here that will employ families and great pay. That's a good thing for us. But then you get back to the other side of it. Okay,
right?
You know, you got outsiders coming in, and how do we maintain our values, and how do we maintain this place that we love? That's the balance, and always will be.
You know, Dr. Ahlquist, we've covered the gamut from politics to jobs to employment, and here we are in a tent in Walmart. What does it mean when you see the folks here at the Boise Rescue Mission? You're always there at 7 Cares, hanging out with Mark, giving and giving. What is it? How does it change you?
Well, I'll tell you, when you go around and you visit a lot of nonprofits around the state, and when you spend time with Reverend Bill and you see what they do, here's what happens. When people go through tough times in their life, they've exhausted all their own abilities to solve their problems. And what do they need? They need a friend. They need someone to help lift them. And they need God in their life. They need a higher power. And I've watched friends, I've watched family members go through that where you kind of hit rock bottom. And that's what I love about the rescue mission. What does it do? It teaches you, hey, here's a higher power you can trust and pray to, and they'll be there for you. And then what do you get? You get a friend that helps you, you know, with everything, with food, with clothing, with jobs, with employment. It's unbelievable what they do with the resources they have. I mean, you tour those missions. You look at those shelters. And you walk away wanting to do every single thing you can to help because they do so much good. It's so inspiring, and I just, you know, if there's a more Christ-like service on the earth, I don't know what it is than what they do at the rescue mission, and they do such a good job with so little resources. What an example to all of us.
No government funding.
No, zero government funding. Keeps the strings away, allows them to do what they need to do, and I think it speaks to our community too for stepping up and helping. But I would just encourage anyone out there, if you're not aware of the programs, go visit. It will blow you away, and you'll want to do more. But do what you can to help. Resources all stay here locally. The stewardship of your money, your money will not be put in a better space than the Boise Rescue Mission. Incredible organization.
Thank you, sir. Always appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me stop by.
Thank you. Dr. Tommy Ahlquist joining us. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Kevin Miller in the morning here. Steve, how are you? Good to have you with us. Our great friend, Steve.
Kevin. How are you?
You don't seem like you're awake, little buddy.
Not quite. Yeah. Caffeine hasn't kicked in.
Well, coming up, we are going to speak with you about your continuing role at the Boise Rescue Mission. And every time we have you on, I'm so inspired by your good work. When you were at the river one night, you make sure when you were in that position that those folks are safe. And that's not an easy thing to do when we're talking about making sure people have proper identification, they're not drinking, they're not misbehaving. Right. And I mean, you're a husky guy, not as husky as me, but it is so important that people know that the rescue mission really cares about their clients.
Absolutely.
Right. And you have been there on the front lines, brother.
It's an inspiring place to be when you get to see firsthand how the way that you can talk to somebody, the way that you can help somebody, the way that God can help somebody, and you see the immediate satisfaction in somebody's eyes when they know that their lives are changing. It makes a huge difference, not just for them, but for you too. It kind of fills your heart, so it's a great place to work.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, and sometimes you have to say no to people.
Sometimes that is the case, but we're not doing it out of anger. We're doing it out of love, so they can improve their lives.
Well, it's important that they come in and they're sober and there's no alcohol and no weapons. And, again, when I was living there 8 years ago for a week, I sat there in the lobby and saw you. You had to tell this person, no, these are the rules. You have to live by it. and he was giving you the business back.
Well, it's about the safety of everybody. And eventually these people that sometimes you had to be hard with came back and would say, you know what, you did the right thing. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for being tough with me, because that's what I needed to get my life right.
All right, Steve, more coming up. We appreciate you. I know it's a pain, but we appreciate you being here, brother.
My pleasure.
Coming up, more of Miller's Mission. Remember, you can donate online anytime, BoiseRM.org. You can stop by and see us till Saturday night at 6 at the Walmart Garrity in Franklin, or any Walmart, and ask for a turkey voucher. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning, Kevin.
Blessed once again to be a part of Miller's Mission, BoiseRM.org. Donate online anytime. Any of the Walmarts throughout the Treasure Valley, ask for a turkey voucher, and for $15, just $15, you can feed Treasure Valley families this Christmas, this Thanksgiving season. We're here at the Nampa Walmart Garrity in Franklin. We'd love to see you. Want to thank our friends at KTSY Radio. They're out and about. They're sending people here. We're sending people where they are, all in partnership to feed Treasure Valley families. Steve joins us once again with the Boise Rescue Mission. We were talking about his duties that have rotated for his years and years with the mission. What are you currently doing now, Steve?
Well, now I'm a driver for our warehouse, and I get the opportunity to meet our donors firsthand. I get a chance to talk to them about what we're able to do with their donations, and it's really heartwarming to see their faces change, because lots of times I get a chance to explain what the mission does, and they learn from me all the programs that we've got and how their simple donation can really change lives, and they just really never thought of that before. So it's exciting to get them in the fold. And
what's it like for you to be in both worlds? Someone who came to the mission, is employed by the mission, and now you're dealing with some heavy hitters.
Well, I came to the mission because I had an alcohol problem. They helped me find God. God helped me get sober, and now I have the opportunity to help other people in the same way that they help me. That makes a big thing in my heart. It gives me a chance to give back, which is a huge part of my recovery. And it also gives other people a chance to hear my story and maybe use that to change their own lives. So I feel really good about it, and I'm glad that God was a part of that to help me get clean.
Can you share with me how God, through the mission, saved you?
I was very anti-faith when I first got there, and a pastor sat me down one day, and he said, what you're trying to do is you want to fix all the piddly stuff and then let God help you get sober. God already knows about your piddly stuff. It's like hiring a maid but cleaning the house before she shows up. Stop doing that. Let him take a chance on you. And so I just kind of gave it over to God, and within a week I just didn't want to drink anymore. It was that fast, and I was amazed by it and surprised by it, and I stopped questioning it, and I just went, you know what, it's in his hands, and it worked. So I know that it works, and if you can take a second and maybe stop thinking about what you want to do and let God kick in, it'll change your life. It really does. So.
And before you know it, you're appearing on TV with the Idaho Lottery.
That's right.
My man.
I'm never going to live that one down.
No, I thought it was great. I know that guy. He's on TV.
That's right, yeah.
When we talk about balance, what would you say to people right now listening on 107.5 FM, 580 AM? Maybe they have an issue with addiction. Maybe they have an addiction with a problem with self-esteem.
Right.
What would you say to them?
Ask for help.
To bring them to the light.
That ask for help. Swallow your pride. Ask for help. The one thing that gets in most addicts' way and most people who are struggling is pride. And if you're not willing to find help or just talk to somebody that can point you in the right direction, it's not going to improve. That's what I had to do. I had to swallow my pride, walk in and say, look, I need some help. I had to do it twice because I screwed up the first time. And it works. You just have to realize that you're not going to be able to do it alone. And the rescue mission can help you. Other people can help you. God definitely can help you. So it's a simple thing of just ask for help. People want to help you.
Finally, what do these donations mean to the folks at the rescue mission?
These donations change lives, honestly. I have watched people come in at the lowest rung of their ladder, and within months they were able to move out on their own, change their lives, and then they get a chance to give back as well. It's really, really heartwarming to watch people who didn't think they'd be able to live the way that they did, myself included, be able to give back. But changing lives is what we do.
And that's what you do now. You change
I like
lives.
to think so in a small way.
You do.
I get to help change lives. I don't do it myself.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Always appreciate you. Well, I'll see you at the banquets, huh?
Well, we thank you for doing this.
Oh.
Don't forget, $15. Buy a turkey. Help us out.
Give a turkey, don't be a turkey, right?
That's right. That's Kevin's job.
Thank you, Steve. God bless you, my friend.
God bless you.
We're joined here by our great friend Lori and David from Lister Frost, attorneys at law. We appreciate them every year, every spring, every fall. We see them donating to the Boise Rescue Mission. And, of course, we always see them at the Idaho Chooses Life Banquet coming up November 30th. Thank you, folks, for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin, for what you're doing, and we're glad to be here. We went in and bought some turkey vouchers, and that were going to be sent over here, but additionally, we are contributing $500 online to the Boise Rescue Mission. We've done that pretty much every year.
You have?
And we're happy to be part of it. It's a great cause, and when you think about the lives that they change and how they help people lift them up and be responsible, and it's a season to be jolly, and the Prince of Peace, and it brings peace. So,
well, it's always so important to give back and to make a difference.
It is, and we love this community, the whole Treasure Valley, and the work that you do. And it takes a lot of people to help contribute to make this the livable place that it is, and reaching out, digging in a little deep, but to help people. I think that's critical to help those around us at this time of year.
Well, and when we talk about giving, we get so much when we give. Could you folks describe your years of giving here to the Boise Rescue Mission? We see Steve, who just joined us at one time, was a client, now a staff member. It really is the Lord's work of teaching someone how to fish.
Thank you. And Lister Frost, we have a lot of family people working at our firm, and all of us are committed to the community, and we do Make-A-Wish and different activities in the community. We just want to help. So we're thankful to be here, part of it, and thankful for what you do coming out here.
I don't know if I'm going to see it at the polar bear plunge, but, benefiting Make-A-Wish. But you two will be there with Larry Gebert and I in spirit. But, yes,
we'll be there in spirit. We may cheer you on. Hand you a towel.
There we go.
Well, thank you both.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you both. Always appreciate it. And always appreciate it when you guys call in, too. Appreciate you listening to the show.
Yes, thank you, Kevin. We're big supporters and grateful for what you do again for this area and for the Boise Rescue Mission.
Well, God bless both of you. Thank you, Lister Frost.
Take
care.
You too.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. It is Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Phone numbers 580-5436. 580-KIDO. Let's go to Liberty Linda. Liberty Linda, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Hello, Liberty Linda.
Yes, good morning. Now, Kevin, you forgot to ask Dr. Alquist if he's going to run for President of the United States when President Trump steps down.
You're right about that, and I dropped the ball on that with Dr. Alquist and whether or not he's running for president, but I promise the next time we have him on, we will do that.
Okay, well, if he's listening right now, and he says he listens all the time, so if he's listening, he needs to start thinking about that. We need a good president, and he would be excellent. I was inspired that he should do that. So, anyway, that had to get out there today. We need to start thinking about that.
Well, we will definitely pass that along to him, Liberty Linda. I know you wish you could be here in spirit, if not in person.
Oh, and well, I'm trying to get there. Anyway, Kevin, it's so wonderful to hear the heartwarming stories of all the people that you have on. And there's not enough I can say, and I know all of us, how much we love you and what you're doing there, how much we love Reverend Bill. What a wonderful person he is. So nice meeting him, and just the work that you do there. Just keep up the wonderful work and stay warm.
Well, God bless, Liberty Linda. Thank you.
You as well, Kevin. Bye-bye.
Bye. Coming up, we're going to speak to Melissa, who has such a great story. Every year, she shares it with us. Every year, she donates, and we can't wait to hear her story of inspiration. But this young man just showed up here. You got to get up to the microphone, sir. Your name?
My name's Doug.
Well, Doug, thank you first of all, for your service to our nation.
Welcome.
And thank you for donating a turkey here. You decided to swing in early this morning?
Yeah, I just came from a Bible study this morning, and I always bring a turkey and some food for the mission. And during the course of the year, I try to donate extra money to the rescue mission as I can.
Well, it means so much, doesn't it?
It sure does. I think Reverend Bill has done just a great, great job with the Boise Rescue Mission and what he does for all the people in this valley. And I support him every year and have for almost 20 years. Maybe not a lot, but whatever I can give.
Every bit helps.
It sure does.
You know, that big turkey, that's going to feed a family.
Amen.
And feed Kevin Miller for maybe a day.
Well, just don't get greedy.
Yes, sir. And that's really the story here of giving, not greed.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. Everybody should be able to give. Got to give something, and don't worry about getting anything in return.
Could you please invite people to come down?
I'll invite every veteran that's listening to the radios this morning, go get yourself a turkey and bring it right down here to the mission. And bring along a little extra food, mac and cheese, some green beans, whatever you can do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. Always a pleasure. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller in the morning. Do want to thank Dr. Tommy Ahlquist, our friends at Lister Frost, and Doug, and so many others who have stopped by this morning to give. Really appreciate it. And start off with our friend Art, who's still here talking about, nuclear fission and the Constitution. It's an eclectic mix here this morning. Miller's Mission, if you're just tuning in, we live twice a year at the Nampa Walmart here at Garrity and Franklin, where we ask you to give a turkey, don't be a turkey, to benefit our friends with the Boise Rescue Mission. She's a reoccurring star on the Miller's Mission circuit. Melissa joins us now. Melissa, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You know, why is this so important for you to come by, to get away from your family, your thriving business, to be here with this, this motley crew this morning?
Well, to me, first off, it speaks, mountains to my children. The way I believe that the community pulls together. You say you come out twice a year, but that's not true. This is something that goes on all year long. We constantly are hearing, this has happened to a family. They've been put out of a home. They've lost whatever they've lost. And there's no question, when you go to the doors for the rescue mission, it's not about your past or who you are, where you're coming from, what you have, what you're trying to get to. It's how can we help you? That right there, no strings attached. How many other programs can you say that, or opportunities out there that, you can have that faith and opportunity, and there's no end game from the other side? That right there is something that, who wouldn't want to be involved in that? And then to take it that I myself personally, experienced that, no strings attached. Here's what's funny about the situation for me. You may come, you may go. You get the help you need, you move forward, you grow. But to them, they never forget you. When you walk up here, everybody's like, even you, oh, you're back again. It's a friendly face. It's, your family. And what do you do about family? Well, you can't change them. You just love them. So. And
they've shown you that love.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't be where I'm at today. A thriving business, soon-to-be homeowner. That's scary all in itself. A mother to my 2 children and a wife for my husband that I wasn't married when I first, when I got into the system with them. But this is not where I would have ended up had they not opened their doors to me and my children. So how do you not want to help a program that has helped you become the person you are today?
How did you go from in need to now giving back?
Well, for me, and just like everybody else, and I know that some people don't know where they're standing at. They kind of stand their own ground, but I believe in a higher power. And I know that the one thing I want to say is that you can't do it alone. And whether, you have a great support system at home, and those are the families that are doing really well, this is a support system for those that don't have it. When you walk in and you don't even have enough stuff to fill a duffel bag, and you're not sure how you're going to take care of your children tomorrow.
Could you repeat that again? You didn't have enough to fill a duffel bag.
Yes, absolutely. I know personally, and I donate still, and I like to go down and offer my time. One of my kids' favorite things is to give where we can. And so one of the things I like to do at the Women's and Children's Rescue Mission is we take advantage of such simple things. And for me is memories that I always had when I was a kid was frosting sugar cookies for Christmas. You don't think nothing of it. You get cookies, you frost them, your kids are at their table doing their thing in their warm home. Well, the mission offers so many opportunities, but they are limited. They got to maximize their resources, and it's not that they don't do an amazing job. So my kids and I like to go to the Women's and Children's Rescue Mission, and we bring pre-made, pre-cooked sugar cookies and frosting, and we let their kids decorate a sugar cookie. It's not anything miraculous, but that's a memory that I know that they get to have, even though they're going through something that they probably wish wasn't happening.
Melissa, obviously this is to the heart and soul of who and what you are. What would you say to help people, come by and donate a turkey, a coloring book, anything?
Well, here's the deal. It's not an amount that matters. If we were to take every person in town and they donated $1, it would be covered. Great, you can donate more. We appreciate that. My husband and I can donate more, and that's what we would like to do. But you can swing by. You can get the change in your car. My kids like to empty out the cushions in the couch a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. Together, there's no amount that can't be achieved. But you think you can do it on your own, and that's when it's hard, But like I said, the support that you get from the men and women that work at these programs is something that, like you said, it's a heart thing. And when it's more important to help people than to help yourself, this program is going to benefit the community for as long as we're here.
Thank you again, Melissa. God bless you.
Well, before we finish, I brought a check. And my husband and I would like not only our family, but Clean Extreme.
You're writing the check here as we speak.
We're going to donate $500 for the program.
Oh, thank you. How about a big round for Melissa? Thank you, Melissa.
And I just want you to know that we appreciate what you guys do. And twice a year is definitely not how often you do it, Kevin. So be a remembrance of that.
Well, we're inspired by you, young lady. And we'll go to the lovely Reverend Roscoe here. Melissa always delivers heartfelt message and certainly contributions that make a difference.
I'm almost at a loss for words, Kevin, and everybody knows how unusual that is. Melissa, thank you. God bless you and your family. I'm so glad you came to our door, and I'm so glad our doors were open. And there's the bottom line, Kevin, that, what we're doing right now and what we do all the time in terms of raising support for the rescue mission is to keep those doors open, keep those lights on, the heater going in times like this, and just give people a hand. And here's evidence that when you do that and you simply give people a hand, give them a few resources that they need at the moment, give them a few more things besides what fills a duffel bag, and life goes on, life improves, change happens, and now here we go. We have someone who's been on the other end of our program back supporting our program in a very significant way. I'm blessed.
We are so blessed. Good morning, Dave.